Crystal Palace is good. Like, really good. Crystal Palace's remarkable season draws parallels to another success story in recent Premier League history. Can you guess which one? Midway through the campaign, both clubs parted ways with their managers only to make a dramatic turnaround and secure a top 10 finish. Aston Villa's 2022-23 season closely resembles Crystal Palace's current resurgence, albeit with significantly higher wages. It's worth noting that Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen also experienced a similar mid-season transformation to finish in the top 10, placing Palace in esteemed company. Reflecting on a club's season after its conclusion provides valuable insights into its trajectory. Aston Villa's unexpected ascent to the Champions League this year suggests that other teams, like Palace, could replicate such success. Despite starting with modest expectations, Palace's ability to change managers after a 7-season tenure and still secure a top 10 finish signals promising times ahead. In this video, we'll explore the history of the Eagles, analyze their impressive season, and discuss the prospects for their future. If you're aiming for a top 10 finish like Palace, consider joining the 320 Bronking Bucks and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. Crystal Palace Football Club has a storied history. This club was one of the founding members of the Football Association in 1863 and competed in the first FA Cup in 1871-72. However, it faded from records after 1875. In 1905, a new professional Crystal Palace Football Club was formed. Chaired by Sidney Bourne and managed by John Robson, the club initially played in the Southern League Second Division, winning their inaugural season and gaining promotion. By 1914, they had significant achievements, including beating top-tier teams in the FA Cup and winning the London Challenge Cup. World War I forced the club to relocate multiple times, eventually settling at The Nest in Croydon. In 1920, they joined the newly formed Football League Third Division and won the championship in their first season. In 1922, they moved to their current home, Selhurst Park. The club faced ups and downs, including relegation to the Third Division South in 1924. Despite several attempts, they remained in this division until 1958, enduring struggles and re-elections. In 1958, under chairman Arthur Waite, Palace started in the new 4th Division, quickly gaining promotion to the 3rd Division in 1961. The club continued to rise, achieving promotion to the 2nd Division in 1964 and finally reaching the 1st Division in 1969 under manager Bert Head. Their first stint in the top flight saw them struggle initially, but secure their place until 1973 when they were relegated. This period included the adoption of the song Glad All Over as the club's anthem. Malcolm Allison's arrival in 1973 brought significant changes to Crystal Palace. The club adopted the nickname the Eagles, changed its colors to red and blue, and introduced an eagle mascot. Despite initial struggles in the 2nd Division, Palace's fortunes improved with the signing of Peter Taylor, but they still faced relegation to the 3rd Division. Allison's tenure saw the club narrowly miss promotion and reach the FA Cup semifinals in 1976. Allison resigned in 1976 and was succeeded by Terry Venables, who achieved promotion in 1977 and built a strong youth team that ended up going on and winning the FA Youth Cup consecutively. The 1978-79 season saw Palace promoted to the 1st Division as champions. Steve Coppell became manager in 1984, signing key players like Ian Wright and Mark Bright. After stabilizing the club, Coppell led Palace to promotion in 1989 via the playoffs. Palace finished 15th in their first top-flight season and reached the 1990 FA Cup final, losing to Manchester United. The club's highest league finish came in 1990-91, securing 3rd place, but missing out on European competition. Coppell's tenure ended in 1993 after relegation from the Premier League. Financial turmoil and managerial changes plagued the club in the late 1990s and early 2000s, resulting in administration and relegations. In 2010, a consortium led by Steve Parish took over the club, sparking a period of stability and resurgence. Despite managerial changes and fluctuations between divisions, Palace re-established themselves as a fixture in the Premier League. In 2014, Alan Pardew took over. Palace reached the FA Cup final in 2016, but lost to Manchester United. A few years after Pardew, Roy Hodgson took the club over in 2017. With the arrival of Roy, Crystal Palace finally got managerial stability that they've needed for the past 3 decades. Fast forward to this season though, Crystal Palace began with high hopes under the return of Roy Hodgson. However, it quickly became evident the campaign would be filled with both on-field struggles and off-field discord, ultimately leading to Hodgson's unexpected departure. Despite aiming for a comfortable mid-table finish, Hodgson's tenure was overshadowed by concerns over his health, highlighted by a collapse during a training session. These health issues, along with poor results and player injuries, disrupted the planned transition to a new manager. The tipping point came after a humiliating defeat to arch-rivals Brighton, where Hodgson's decision to field Michael Olise, who subsequently suffered an injury, sparked controversy and reflected broader issues within the squad. Tension simmered over training intensity, player recruitment, and Hodgson's reluctance to embrace younger talent. The lack of investment and failure to adequately replace key departures further undermined Palace's hopes for the season. Hodgson's management style faced criticism for its perceived lack of intensity and adaptability, leading to a breakdown in trust among some players and fans. Hodgson's departure elicited mixed emotions, with some acknowledging his past contributions while others lamented missed opportunities and the club's failure to evolve under his leadership. Hodgson himself expressed regrets about his return, highlighting the perils of stagnation and complacency in football management. In February, Oliver Glasner took over after Hodgson departed. To begin his managerial career at Palace, Glasner only won 1 out of his first 6 games, but after that, it was only up for Crystal Palace. Under Glasner's leadership, Palace achieved remarkable results, securing historic finishes such as a 2-1 win over Liverpool at Anfield and a dominating 3-0 victory over West Ham United. These wins showcased the team's newfound competitiveness and resilience. The most eye-opening stat was since February when Glasner took over, Crystal Palace amassed 24 points in 13 matches. Only 3 other teams had more points in that time period: Manchester City with 35, Arsenal with 34, and Chelsea with 28. Key players like Jean-Philippe Mateta, Eberechi Eze, and Michael Olise played pivotal roles in Palace's revival. Mateta's goal-scoring prowess was evident, with notable performances including a Premier League hat-trick against Aston Villa and scoring in 7 consecutive home games. I want to make a note that Jean-Philippe Mateta is one of the only players I see who still tucks his shirt in, and I love that. He is also highly entertaining, but the shirt being tucked in though. Glasner's managerial approach, honed during his successful tenure at Eintracht Frankfurt, shifted Palace's focus towards a more ambitious and aspirational style of play. This strategical shift yielded positive results, igniting hopes of European qualification among fans and players alike. Off the field, a renewed sense of unity emerged at Selhurst Park, with the Holmesdale Fanatics resolving their disputes and plans for stadium redevelopment. Glasner's meticulous management of player fitness and his emphasis on teamwork further solidified Palace's progress. This season ended on a high note, with Palace absolutely dismantling Champions League-bound Aston Villa 5-0. Everything great Palace had built toward this second half of the season was on display here. Great defending out of the back and solid pressing in Villa's half. Great build-up play in the middle and quick passing near the box, allowing for easy chances inside of the box. If you have not watched, you should at least watch the highlights. Going forward, I think Palace are in a great situation. This is Glasner's first offseason with the club, and I would imagine ownership would allow Glasner to bring in some key additions to help bolster the squad, especially considering the strong finish Palace showed at the end. Plans to upgrade the stadium are already on track, so truly things are looking up for Palace going forward. This upcoming season, I would think Palace is going to go ahead and qualify for a European spot. The way that they've played under Glasner has shown they can beat almost anybody. Crystal Palace's journey this season has been nothing short of inspiring. From facing adversity and uncertainty at the start to achieving remarkable success under Oliver Glasner's leadership, the Eagles have shown resilience, determination, and a true fighting spirit. The parallels drawn between Palace's resurgence and other historic turnarounds in football only emphasize the magnitude of their achievements. Like Aston Villa and Bayer Leverkusen before them, Palace has defied expectations and carved their path to glory. With determination, skill, and a little bit of luck, I think the Eagles will be flying towards the top of the table.